Wolfgang Pauli was one of the greatest physicists of the 20th century. He won the Nobel Prize. He proposed a particle no one had ever seen, the neutrino. And for most of his life, one number haunted him. 1 divided by 137. It is called the fine structure constant. It sets the strength of the force that binds light and matter. Even modest changes to it could reshape chemistry and the way stars burn. The universe we know might never have formed. And no accepted theory explains why it has the value it does. Pauli could not explain it, and no one has explained it, even today. He once said that if he could ask God one question, it would be this: why 1/137? Then, near the end of his life, Pauli fell ill. He was taken to a hospital in Zürich. His assistant came to visit him, and Pauli asked him a strange question. "Did you notice the number on my door?" It was room 137. Pauli said he would not leave that room. A few days later, he died there. For Pauli, the number was never just a number. It pointed at something he believed lay beneath all of physics, a hidden order, a deeper layer. And here is what is strange. Two very different traditions have tried to describe that deeper layer. One is modern quantum field theory, the deepest physics we have. The other is a 700-year-old mystical idea, a picture of an infinite, hidden source from which everything emerges. They come from completely different worlds, and they arrive at a surprisingly similar shape. Now, one thing this is not. The number 137 is not a secret divine code. It is not. It is something quieter and stranger, two descriptions of what lies beneath reality that turn out to rhyme. Start with the number. The fine structure constant is written as a simple fraction, approximately 1 divided by 137. More precisely, that lower number is about 137.036, so it is not exactly 137. That detail matters, and we will come back to it. The number is dimensionless. It has no units. It is just a pure number. And it controls how strongly light and matter interact, how tightly electrons are held inside atoms. Here is the mystery that gripped Pauli. No accepted theory explains why it has this value. In the Standard Model, it is not derived from anything. It is simply measured, put in by hand. The theory works beautifully, but it cannot say why. The number points at something physics has not reached. Now follow it deeper. Behind that number sits the most successful theory we have, quantum field theory, and it changes the picture of reality completely. In everyday life, we think of particles as tiny objects, little balls of matter. Quantum field theory says no. Picture instead an invisible ocean, filling all of space. There is one such ocean for each kind of particle, an electron ocean, a photon ocean. Physicists call them fields. And a particle is not a separate object. It is a wave, a ripple rising on its field. An electron is a ripple in the electron field. Light is a ripple in the electromagnetic field. Now ask the strangest question. What is left when you remove every ripple, every particle? Empty space, the vacuum. You would think it is truly nothing. But quantum field theory says the vacuum is not empty. It is the fields at their lowest energy, their quietest state. And even then, they are never perfectly still. They quietly fluctuate. We can even detect signs of this. Place two metal plates close together in a vacuum, and they feel a tiny force drawing them in. It is called the Casimir effect. On the most common reading, that force reflects the restless energy of the vacuum. The interpretation is still debated, but the core picture is mainstream. The deepest layer of physics is not empty. It is a humming fullness, and every particle rises out of it. Now, before we go further, the hard part. We are about to set this physics beside a mystical idea, and there are traps everywhere here, so let me draw the lines clearly. First, that number, 137, and the word Kabbalah. In Hebrew, letters double as numbers. Add up the letters in the word Kabbalah, and they total 137. Some accounts say this coincidence intrigued Pauli too. But be very careful. This is a coincidence, nothing more. There are countless words and countless numbers. Matches like this are bound to happen. The gematria does not prove that Kabbalah contains physics. Second, and this matters most, this is not a claim that physics proves any religion. It does not. And the idea we are about to meet, called Ein Sof, is not the quantum field. The quantum field is not Ein Sof. One is physical, described by mathematics. The other is a religious idea, beyond all description. Physics does not prove God. The vacuum is silent on all of that. So what are we doing? We are setting two pictures side by side, and noticing they share a shape, not that one proves the other. So now, carefully, the mystical idea. Kabbalah is a tradition of Jewish mysticism. It emerged in medieval Spain around 700 years ago. But the specific idea we need came later. It was developed by a rabbi named Isaac Luria in the 1500s. Picture the scene, a circle of mystics in a hill town in Galilee. They wrestled with a question physics still asks today. If there is an infinite source behind everything, what was there before creation? They gave that source a name, Ein Sof. The words mean, literally, without end, the infinite. But notice how they describe it. Ein Sof is not a person, not a figure on a throne. It is boundless, undivided, beyond every name and every attribute. It cannot be pictured because it has no features, and yet, from it, everything comes. Then comes the strangest part. How does a finite world arise from something infinite and undivided? Luria's answer was a single word, tzimtzum. It means contraction, withdrawal. The infinite, he said, drew itself inward. It withdrew to open a space. Not an absence, a concealment, a clearing in which a finite world could appear. Later scholars still debate how literally to take this. But the picture is vivid. Into that cleared space, a thread of light enters, and from it, the world unfolds, stage by stage, distinct thing by distinct thing. So the shape of the idea is this: an infinite, hidden, undivided source, a self-limiting act, and a world of separate things emerging from it. Pause for a moment. Look at the space in the room around you. It looks empty, like nothing is there. But physics now says that is wrong. That space is not empty. It is the fields, in their quietest state, full and humming, beneath what you can see. Every solid thing around you, including your own body, is a ripple rising out of that fullness. Sit with that for a moment. The nothing is not nothing. It is what everything is made from. So now we can place the two pictures side by side. Quantum field theory says the world of separate particles rises out of an underlying field, a fullness that is never truly empty. Kabbalah says the world of separate things emerges from Ein Sof, an infinite source that conceals itself. The shape is the same. In both, the world of distinct things comes out of a single, hidden, undivided source, and in both, that source is not nothing. It is a kind of fullness. One arrived here through mathematics and experiment, the other through centuries of contemplation. And again, the boundary. The quantum field is physical. You can measure it. Ein Sof is said to be beyond all description. Neither proves the other. Kabbalah did not predict quantum field theory. Physics does not confirm Ein Sof. What they share is only the shape of the answer. That beneath the world of separate things lies a single source, and it is full, not empty. Return to Wolfgang Pauli. Pauli was not a mystic. He was a hard physicist, the sharpest critic of his generation. But the equations alone never fully satisfied him. Late in life, he increasingly explored a possibility, that matter and mind reflected a single deeper order. He wrote, in his own words, that we must postulate a cosmic order beyond our control. The number 137 was his way into that question, a clue that reality had a hidden structure the mathematics could not yet explain. Pauli never said Ein Sof was the quantum field. He did not. That parallel is ours, not his. But he is the reason it is worth drawing. Because he shared the mystic's fascination with a deeper order beneath the surface of things. Return, one last time, to room 137. A dying physicist, and a number that had followed him his whole life. For Pauli, that number was a door. Behind it stood a question he never answered. Why is reality built the way it is? And what lies beneath it? Physics gives one picture, a field filling all of space, never empty, the source of every particle. Kabbalah gives another, an infinite that hides itself, so that a world can appear. Two pictures, from two different worlds, neither proving the other. But both refuse the same idea, that the foundation of reality is empty. Both say the opposite, that what looks like nothing may be the most full thing there is. Ancient wisdom, quantum mystery, direct knowing. If you want to see where this question leads next, that investigation is on your screen now. And in the description.